I think that we're going to get to a new trend.
How will she react?
We are drawn together in the dream.
In our never-ending search for the...
Oh, is that for me? Oh my god, what? All for me? Thanks. All right, we're rolling. All right. Hey, welcome to Formal Review. I'm your host, Watergh0st, and today we got a really special show. A lot going on about flatness, about touch. Look at that audience, right? Isn't that such a beautiful... Wow! Hey, you! I remember it. Yeah, you! Give it up for you guys, I think. We have a great musical. I just love our band, honestly. I love our band. We got Harry Partch. I've been a Harry Partch fan for as long as I can remember. I love that guy. I mean it. Take it away, Harry Partch. Just take it away. Take it away, Harry Partch. Take it away, Harry Partch. Take it away, Harry Partch. Oh, take it away, Harry Partch. 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 This one's a ballad.
So instead of slicing raw potatoes, the new Betty Crocker way is to cook and mash them, then shape them into chips and flash fry them.
It's done. Planning out. You're on.
What is
Humans. Being free. And off.
The fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Italian.
Right for
Ciao, sono Consuelo.
saved on you. Big on a year-end deal for an old Cutlass S. It's the budget buyer's Oldsmobile. That's a lot of car with a lot of value in it for Jim and Sal. See you.
Ciao, sono Consuelo. Hi, I'm Consuelo. Nice to meet you.
All right, let's check our first piece of mail. Dear Rachel, I'm not that crazy about your show, admittedly. However, this is a family heirloom, and I would like it to be appraised. Well, let's take a look. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, it's definitely flat. Do we find it flattering? How do we find it? But on first glance, I'm not quite sure that it requires a bit to be flattering for consumption. It's very dry. This could help me tie my room together in some way, I think. The consistency here is confusing for me. Jessica, this is black coffee. I don't think that black coffee is not going to be good with the furniture we're reviewing. Jessica, can you get me some with milk? And the colors, you know, when you integrate it with the space, it gets all these interesting kind of blends, I would say. And you know, that's the thing about furniture, like over time, you know, and so with this, it took a second. And now that just peels off great, although it's not very cohesive it's not very versatile. Jessica, no. Maybe if I just put it in a different oh my God. Jessica, I'm sorry. Alright, let's get another complaint out of the way. Dear Rachel, I find your show quite derivative of the Eric Andre show, as it is both absurd and on camera. Please tell me if you find my living room table to be flattering. All right, let's have a look at it. You see it? You see it? I mean, it's pretty, you know, neutral, I'd say. You can kind of make that flattering anywhere, I think. It's got that art form aftertaste. I just feel like there's too much ambivalence. But, I mean, if I want to keep up with the times, I guess. What's current for 10,000 fucks? Yeah, Tony Oxley, that's me.
This song is dedicated.
And don't forget, you can actually call us and you can talk to us live right here on the show, and we'll have a great time, I'm sure, just to hear some real live people, some real live voices. Isn't he funny, isn't he? I didn't realize you'd be so funny, man. Let me just ask you something. Like, you're fucking Watergh0st's, right? Like, Memphis group, whatever. What really is interesting to me is that you're like a fucking wild card. You know what I mean? So I guess I just wanted to ask, like, do you have any story, anything you could tell us about, like, a wild night during the height of just all of the craziness? No? All right. I mean, that's fine. Like, you're low key. I like that, honestly. I mean, is there anything you could tell us about your personal life, even? Just like any hobby? I just want to know, man. Wow, okay. So, in the vault with that, too, I guess. All right. I mean, is there you have a favorite part of, the movie that you're here to promote? No? Okay, this guy was fucking talking my ear off like a second ago, right? Like, just absolutely. Okay, well, why don't we just roll a clip, right? Why don't we just roll a clip, okay? Now, do it now.
When I made the Valentine typewriter, I wanted it to be so cheap that they be seen like big pens. I see design as a sort of problem solving. But they are not always problems of pragmatism. The Valentine is an example of me trying to solve a problem of the art. The art of a hardened man. The art of the man so hardened by work that he begins to see beauty and work as one in the same. He goes to the museum with his family as he's been told that art and culture are important things for children to see. He sees the Raffaello painting on the wall. He sees the painting and he thinks I cannot do that. So he's happy, because if he can't paint it that means the painter work hard. So the painting is a good. He sees the Rothko painting and he thinks I can do that. Even maybe my kid can do that. And if that is true, then the painter did not work hard. So the painting is not a good. So he's fucking furious and the vacation is ruined. I wanted to help this man. It's a Christmas Day and that man has purchased a Valentine typewriter for his son. He has heard that these are practical, like big pens even, and so he thinks his son can make good use out of it. He hasn't even really looked at the typewriter until his figlio takes the typewriter out of the case. He is immediately taken by it. This is one of those designers' dreams. The person witnesses your object and immediately wants to use it. The form is so pleasing that it demands of the man to utilize its function. The boy also likes the typewriter and puts it on his desk in his room. A few weeks later, the man decides to take his first sick day in 5 years while the boy is in school. He wants to finally use the typewriter. When he enters the room, he practically leaps to the desk and then simply builds the typewriter for a long time. He then caresses the keys, gently placing his hands on them, but then suddenly he's just writing. He doesn't even really understand what he's writing. But he cannot stop, he needs to keep going. He needs to use the typewriter. The content of his writing is not coherent. It never becomes a legible story, but instead he gets stuck on the act of producing words. He never for a second forget that he is writing because he never forget the typewriter. He at one point write DW0RDines of W0RTS 94, the verbines of verbs $, which infuriates him when he sees that on the paper. His stupidity, his ignorance, he rips up the page and goes for a walk. On the walk he hears a saxophone. He thinks, what about the soundiness of a sound? He immediately bites his tongue, punishing himself for his shyness. He hears the saxophone player every day as he walks to the metro. But today he decides to stop and listen for the first time. He is promptly pulled into a world of soundiness. The differences between loud sound and quiet sounds, short sounds and long sounds. He doesn't find himself thinking about what the music communicates, about the player's skill or even anything about the player at all. Instead he just feels attentive to every inch of the saxophone's song. The saxophone player finishes completely an hour of his effect on the man, but is grateful for the man's patronage of €20. After he gives the saxophone player €20, the man goes to the shop and buys himself a Valentine typewriter. A week has passed. He no longer resents that which he doesn't immediately understand. He knows when he sees a painting that makes him want to say, my kid can paint that. What he means is something deeper. He means, I am exhausted living a life in which I need to be legible to everyone. I am exhausted by the conditions that are required of me to feel worthy of love. The rigorousness, the stoicism, the allergy to wasting time. There are no more conditions and he is free. So the typewriter becomes the playground for the child within who was told to be quiet. And the museum becomes the funeral home for the grief. He goes to the Rothko and the whips for the memories of when he was told that the ways he expressed himself were shameful. He weeps and he whips for the punishments he faced when he did not carry out expected behaviors. He weeps and he lets himself love the child within.
Let's take some callers. If you want, you can actually call us and have a real live interaction here at Formal Review. guest is actually here to help us review his own furniture object, which I think is very cool, and I do really love this designer. He's the king of chairs to me, really. He even brought his own chair to the interview. Very excited to see him and talk about his way that he's reinventing wheelchairs. Please welcome Joe Colombo, everybody. Hey, it's so good to see you, man. How are you doing?
Hey man, I'm having a really good time, man. Oh, so good to be here. Love the band. That barge. Yeah, man. I'm Joe Colombo. Oh my god, wow, look at that beautiful crowd. What? Oh my god. They love me.
That's great. I want to get right into it. I want to see the wheelchair. I want to see just show me what you got. I'm so excited.
Hey, yeah, maybe Harry Barge could give us a bit of a drum roll, yeah. Drum roll.
And then drum roll, please. So it's like. That's a bike.
Oh, come on, man.
I mean, am I wrong? Like,
You gotta be like,
that's a bicycle.
why that way, you know? Ugh.
I mean, am I wrong?
That's just the old way. It's just a new way of wheelchair.
Okay, it's the new way. It's the new way of wheelchair.
Yes.
Why do you explain that to me?
Yeah, okay. So basically, the beach conglomerate, they own these factories where the chairs they get made. Which means we have an understanding about how the furniture is produced. And so I have an idea, and I present it as the schema, but over time, Beach will change the design to tailor the needs of the customer as they best understand it. So I say to Beach that I want to make a foldable wheelchair. I actually come up with that idea in hospital because I broke my leg on a water skiing accident. Basically, while I was in the hospital, I realized that a lot of people in the hospital just use a wheelchair when they're in there, and the hospital has to store them all, so I wanted to make one that could, collapse into a flat rectangle so they can be stacked and they don't need to be as durable. Beach, they look at my design and they say, that's very sleek, but it's a bit sad. So we begin to work on it a bit, Then they get me thinking about the user of the chair a bit more, It's got two lives, The act and the stack. On the stack side of things, I had a pretty good sense of what I was doing, but the act side, when the person uses the wheelchair, I had that shit all wrong, man. They made me realize that the problem with the chair is that it reminded people that they were sick or injured. And hurt people, you don't want to be reminded of the hurt. The whole point of wellness is to eradicate suffering as seamlessly as possible. That's why we do this, right? To in some way eradicate pain on some quantifiable scale. Why be present in a suffering with which you don't have the tools to address, when you could simply dissociate into aspiration, even fantasy. And Bick knows that. Like, you go into any beach kappa art supply store and they fill that place wall to wall with the tools to support the next generation of minds to change the world.
Welcome our musical guest,